Hello chaps and chapettes, and today we're looking at another magnet video, but we're going to make our magnet in a slightly different way today. We're going to make an electromagnet, and this is going to be huge amounts of fun because we get to play with a bunch of wires and coils and, well, another iron core in this one instead of using a nail. So let's jump straight into it. What you should know today is how a current moves. Well, what you should need to know is that a current moving through a wire is going to produce a magnetic field, and I'm going to introduce you to this physics gang sign, and I'm hoping this is the right direction on the video. This needs to be your right hand, so it's going to be called the right hand grip rule for that reason, but we'll get into that in a second. You should also understand the features of a solenoid, and a solenoid is basically an electromagnet, and we'll talk about more what that is later. You should be able to make an electromagnet at the end of this video, and I appreciate that for some of you it's going to be kind of difficult to do, so the challenge today is to say why electromagnets are useful and where you might be able to find them as well. So let's jump straight into it. So the first thing you need to know is, this, where you have a current moving through a wire, and that's going to produce a magnetic field going around the wire. And that is handily represented by this, your first physics gang sign. Now this, my thumb, is going to be the current, and as your fingers curl around your thumb, that is the direction of the magnetic field. And when you come to draw it, that's the direction you should go for. You can't really do it that way around. There's various reasons why, but that's the idea. So current going up and your fingers curling around being the magnetic field. Now a little hint on this one. The current is not the direction of the electrons. Remember that in conventional current, they go from positive to negative. But the direction of electrons in your wire is going to be from negative to positive, being repelled away from the negative terminal and attracted towards the positive one. So just be careful with that one. Positive current, current, conventional current goes from positive to negative, and the half the electron goes from negative to positive. And, well, there we go. Now we need to understand some various features of our solenoids, which is another word for our electromagnet, and we're going to go to the back of the classroom to do that. But before we do that, you need to make sure that you hit the like button so that my YouTube channel is helped out on the YouTube algorithm, and so that people know how to find this one when they desperately need to do a test on electromagnets. So I do appreciate that. It does help out a lot. So what we're going to do now is go to the back of my classroom, and I'll see you there. Right, so this is how you make an electromagnet. First of all, you need one of these things, and this is a soft iron core. Now we don't want a steel core for this one, because ideally we want a piece of material where the domains are going to be magnetic, basically iron, okay, and this is magnetic. There you go, magnetic. But we want the domains to shift around quite easily still. So we want them to go into a direction really quickly and then flick back. There's a reason for that one. We want to be able to turn the magnetic field off relatively straightforwardly. And when we go on to look at transformers, we want that magnetic field to switch back and forth pretty quickly. And if it doesn't want to do that, and if it stays in the same position, then that's going to cause energy losses. So we don't want that to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the coil here, and we're going to wrap it around our iron core. The iron core is there just to direct the magnetic field. All the business bit is actually going to happen in this thing here and this thing here. We're going to be using direct current for this one, and well, let's just get started. We're going to need to start winding some things around this one. That's on, that's all reset, and I've got a heat mat here because this can go badly wrong very, very quickly. And I'll show you exactly how that works later on. So let's get to winding then. So I just started. Wire strippers, here we go. Just strip that off. There we go, and strip off the other end. You might notice that I have done not much at all. That's because I wanted to show you something on this. We turn this on now. Okay, we need to attach it first. That'd be a clever thing to do, Mr. Cochrane. There we go. Okay, so we're going to attach this with its mighty couple of coils in there, and we're going to see how much it can actually pick up. Let's just start with black on that side. There we go. And on this side. Here we go. There. Right. Let's see if this picks up anything. And oh wow, crikey! That's actually picking up stuff already. Wow. Okay, that's Wait. No, wait. That's actually working. Well, okay. I didn't expect that to work straight away. That's somewhat unusual. I wonder if the end of this thing is magnetized. Hang on, let's turn that off. Well, there you go. Okay, it shouldn't have worked, but it did actually pick up a couple. So, well, there we go. What we're going to do is going to increase the coils on here, and we're going to see if we can pick up more paper clips. Because the more coils we add onto this thing, the stronger the magnetic field is going to be, and the more paper clips we're going to pick up. So let's just do that now. Cool. All right, so that should be fairly good. What we're going to do, we're just going to leave that there. Okay, that's on. We're going to pick up some, and you can see loads have been picked up. We've kept the voltage the same, so the current's flowing through the same. We've managed to pick up loads more of our paper clips from that one. So basically, we've proved that the magnetic field strength is much, much stronger. And this is how you can make a solenoid, well, stronger. Now the thing is, this is starting to get really, really warm right now because the resistance in this is building up. And if I was to just crank up the voltage straight away, as in like up to 14 volts something, this would actually start to melt the plastic around the coil, around the wires, which means that this eventually would catch on fire, and that would be a bad thing. Just to demonstrate how much effect current has on this, look, we can see that no current is on there, and it's not picking up, well, okay, we managed to pick up one there. Yeah, I reckon that actually has become magnetized to that end, so there we go. So it's not managed to pick up anything on there, and if we pop up the voltage a little bit, pick up one or two, still quite weak, and if we put the voltage way, way up, there we go, loads of things on there. Now, I'm not sure if you can see that, but that's actually starting to get really hot, so I'm just going to knock that down. You might have actually seen that vibrating, and yeah, okay, let's see if we can get that going. You see that little flex there? Let's just knock this off. Okay, gosh, it's getting hot already. So this is why you don't want to increase the voltage too high on this thing. So let's just watch and see if we can get this to flex. All right, you saw that? That was the individual magnetic fields all suddenly attracting to each other. So it flexed together. So let's just try that again. So pulsing the voltage up high. And there we go. And try again. And there we go. We just tripped the power supply there. This is why you don't want to coil up your power cables. I've got a really good video on that in the electrical safety part of the channel, and I recommend you go and have a look at that and see what it's like. But there you go. So 3 things to make your solenoid electromagnet stronger. 1, increase the number of coils. 2, increase the current. And 3, make sure you have an iron core in there, because this thing will, oh, yeah, it's still tripped, but this thing will actually pick up paper clips even without the iron core in there. It's just not as well directed, and it won't be as strong. So there you go. Right, so what you've just seen is how to make an electromagnet, and well, there you go. You wrap a wire around an iron core, and the number of turns you have is going to determine how strong your electromagnet is going to be. So 3 things in that one, in case I didn't summarize it before. Number of coils, okay, making sure you have an iron core in the first place, that gives a direction for it. And also, number 3, the current going through there, how much voltage you apply to this thing. Now, there's a couple of things you need to know on this one, and I'm just going to briefly go through it now. The difference between an electromagnet core and a permanent magnet, you will typically use some sort of soft metal. And when I say soft, I mean like a pure iron core for your electromagnet, rather than something like steel. And the reason for that is because it can flip its magnetic fields relatively easily. Remember how we demagnetized a nail in the previous video? If you drop something like a steel bar, it's unlikely to move its microstructure around. Steel has little bits of carbon inside, and those essentially pin your atoms in place and pin the microstructures in place, which means that it's not going to move its domains around very easily. And what you should learn from this video is that you should know that current moving through a wire creates a magnetic field, and you should also understand the features of a solenoid and why they're there and why they make it stronger. You should also be able to make an electromagnet, and also I'm looking forward to your opinion on why electromagnets are useful. There's various reasons, and well, have a look, and well, I look forward to seeing your comments below. And then I'll catch you in the next video, guys.